Hello!
Hello!
How are you? Hi, my name's Ian.
Ian, nice to meet you.
Anna, nice to meet you, Teri.
To meet you. How are you guys?
Not
Good.
too bad.
How are
Are you
on a
enjoying
Sunday.
this beautiful
It's so good.
food fest?
It's just been overcast, and my tender
great day.
ginger skin is so thankful for it.
I know, and the sun's just starting to peek out now.
Right?
Well, come take respite
Nice.
in my van here.
Wow.
So we have one thing that we want to ask,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I think it's just, we're like still young. We don't really have a whole lot of experiences. Where is the perfect place to live in the entire world?
So we're from the Midwest.
Okay.
And he's lived out in LA for like 5 years, and I moved here a couple years ago.
Okay.
And we live together, and so
Okay.
we're just kind of trying to decide, like, is this where we stay? Should we go live somewhere else? Should we? We don't
Should we
know.
get a van and just live
Yeah,
everywhere?
should we
live
do
live
that
that nomadic
thing?
life? I think
Well,
it's very hip right now in 2018.
yeah, it is,
Nomadic
isn't it?
life.
Van life. Hashtag
Right?
van life. Yeah.
Van life.
We just don't know.
Okay, well, I think it's a really good question, and I actually think it's really cool that at your young age you're asking it, because I think sometimes people just go through life and their life happens to them and they don't really get reflective about, okay, wait, what is the life I want to have? So by saying, where do you think is the best place for us to live, you're asking something that is important, because you're going to need to think about a couple things. Like, you're going to need to analyze what is happiness to you. Like, is it water? Is it mountains? Is it nature? Is it culture? Is it busyness? Is it quiet? And that says something about your personality. And so when you're clear about what makes you happy, that's going to lend itself to where you want to be. People overextend themselves to have stuff, to sort of like compete in the consumerism game. And I think from my place, which is probably twice as old as you are, I think I am now getting rid of everything. Like, I could totally live in this van.
Yeah.
Like, I think stuff causes you stress. Like, the more stuff you have, the more stuff you have to worry about, the more, and I'm not saying there isn't an appropriate time to own a home. It's a good question to ask yourself, how much stress do you want with the thing that you have? Like, if you're buying a house and where it is, like, it is the exchange of the happiness the house is bringing you with the trade-off of the stress it costs to own it. Is that, is it a good matchup, or is it going to be, weighted one way or another? So it's a good, I mean, if you're asking me what I think about places in our country, because I have traveled a lot, or the world, by the way, I still think you have to ask yourself what you like and what you don't like. I happen to love Maine, but I am a big water person, and I'm definitely lean more towards nature than I do towards city. At a time when you don't have kids, I'm assuming you guys don't have kids. At a time when you don't have kids and you actually possibly can, in a financial way, manage, like if you work from your computer, or you can take jobs as you go along, or whatever that is to you. I don't know. I think I couldn't imagine there being a greater experience than going on the road. But that's my personality.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Some people would hate that. What are you guys leaning towards?
I don't even know. I feel like there's always like the grass is greener someplace else kind of situation, because we live in LA now, and it's awesome, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But also, to get to work sometimes is a fight. It's like a struggle.
In our
Everything's
apartment,
expensive.
it's so expensive. Like, when we look at homes that we could have in the Midwest or rent for the same price in LA, it's like, oh my gosh, like we could be living in a mansion for like the little apartment that we have. So it's like, what's the best? And our families are all in the Midwest too, so it's like, do we want to be close to them?
Or do you not?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think those are the right questions. Like, what brings you happiness? And so when you look at the money and the stress and that, when does that trade-off become like, this is so much stress that we're not happy anymore?
Right.
Like, LA is a great place to live until it becomes too stressful.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing about other big cities. I'm definitely into the smaller, less burden, less to clean, less to less to worry about, less to fix, less to break, like all of that. Like, I'm sort of into the free spirit time in my life, which actually, funny enough, is probably similar. Like, I went through the child thing, and now she's
full circle.
Yeah, so
You're on the other end.
Yeah, I kind of
made it
am.
through.
So we're actually sort of, we could go van life
Yeah,
together.
let's all do it.
sold on the van life. I'm ready to go.
Sign me up. Yeah, I mean, I don't live in it, although I feel like I could, but it doesn't have a shower, or a bathroom, so that would be, that's kind of a bummer. I've taken plenty of showers in a quarter, those places at the campsites where you put in the quarter and you take the freezing shower. Yeah, I've done that. I could say about traffic though, like you were just saying, like the stress of when you're in a big city, like try to make the most of whatever the situation is. You know, like LA has traffic. So rather than, I don't know why people get frustrated in traffic, because there's traffic. You're allowed to get frustrated when you're surprised by something going wrong.
Yeah.
Traffic in LA is not surprising. It's not at all. If you don't expect it every time you get in your car, then you're insane.
Yeah.
Because that's what LA is traffic. So instead, you should have nuts in your car, you should have water, you should have really good podcasts, you should have really good, I look at it as my time to, it's when I'm going to listen to NPR, or I'm going to listen to this album I haven't heard in a long time, or I'm going to listen to this podcast. I like to listen to This American Life, or different podcasts. And then I think I never get to do that stuff out of my car. So then traffic actually becomes a fun place to be, because I'm getting to do stuff I don't get to do when I'm not in traffic. See how I
That's a good way to look at it. I love that. I think we have to live in a van now. Forever.
I'm surprised you sold on it so fast. I figured that was going to be a little bit more of an argument or something like that,
We gotta email our landlord tonight and just go.
I'm kind of more partial to a sailboat. I feel like it's kind of like van life, but a little bit more romantic, out on the water.
Could do it.
I don't know. That's another time. That's another thought.